Hello again. It's a pleasure to always have you on Mayokun MA. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for watching. Today we discuss a phenomenon, something that is so close to us, but we miss it out at times. Um, you might actually be around so many people and be lonely. You might actually be laughing and still be deeply hurt. I'm sure there are times that you've tried to cover up your emotions even when you are amidst your loved ones. But there are some of these feelings that are temporary. They come and they leave you. At times, if you have someone to talk to, you get over those negative emotions easily. But some of them are medical. Some of them you will have to see a consultant. But you see, in this part of the world, we hardly think that some conditions need us going to the hospital for. At times, we can't even put a definition to how we are feeling. We just know that at times we feel low. At times, on hearing a music, it takes us back to some unpleasant experiences. And it's until someone gets to define it for us that we understand that, oh, so this is how I've been feeling. But today's discussion is not going to only talk about the negative energy that we sometimes get out of the blues. We're going to talk a lot more. So, welcome and join me to welcome my guest today, Abayomi. He's going to talk about, don't let me let the cat out of the bag. Just join this discussion, and I promise you it will be worth every second you spend watching this video. Welcome, Abayomi.
Yeah, good morning, madam. I'm happy to be on this show this morning.
Okay. Well, it depends on which part of the globe that our listeners are. Somewhere on the globe is morning.
So it's actually a bit afternoon.
It's okay. I can even tell you that in some parts of the world it's already night. And some parts of the world are just waking up, or some are even in the night. So wherever you are joining us from, we welcome them. Abayomi, we've known for many years now. We don't get to talk every time, but once in a while that we just check on each other. I mean, we rub minds, and some things come up, and I learn, you learn. And I would love for us to actually tap from your experience with depression. Let's start from there.
I started having issues with depression around, let's say, 2006, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2006. It all started like a joke. Like I will have a flash in my mood. My mood flashes. That flashes to being moody or being hyperactive, and occasionally normal. But I started getting aware of it in 2007. 2007, yes, when I lost my best friend then, Precious. And yeah, hello.
Yes, we're with you.
Okay, so when I lost my friend, then I had the issue before my friend died. But when I lost my friend, then I became aware of it. When you are having something, when you have something, but you are not really aware of that thing. But when my friend died, and I do not have somebody who was my shoulder, sort of, was removed from the picture. I became aware of it. It became an issue, and since then it has been a big battle. It became worse recently, so much that I intend going to Ikeja, for instance.
Okay.
And I set out from the house, and I actually get to Ikeja. By the time I get to Ikeja, I found out that I cannot remember what I was in Ikeja to do.
Wow.
And I had to go back home. And when I get back home, I remember, I went to Ikeja for this particular reason. Okay, I then go back to Ikeja again. By the time I get to Ikeja, I have forgotten again. And there have been times whereby I just feel like, okay, all these struggles, all this mental struggle, almost like nobody loves me. I have this delusion. I don't know. I don't want to call it delusion really, but in the recess of it, in the recess of it, delusion, like nobody cares about you. People only want you for something. People only want something from you, and if you can't give that thing, you are useless to them, and all those things. So that was the journey until I landed myself in the hospital in Ibadan for 21 good days.
Wow. Okay, hold on. Let's backtrack a little. Let's go back to when it all started. How were you able to say, oh, this is depression? You know, initially you said it started with mood swing. Did you read some books? Did somebody define it for you? How did you come to the conclusion that, oh, this is depression? Or did you have to go to the hospital and you were diagnosed for depression?
No, I started digital marketing. And digital marketing involves a lot of writing, a lot of doing research and all those. So during the journey of doing research, I had to write a couple of articles about depression itself. And you know, when you are writing about yourself unconsciously, and then all of a sudden, I thought, oh, this thing that I'm writing about speaks to me myself as well.
Wow.
And that was how I discovered that, okay, what I was going through, the depression or something. And along the line, I did further research and found out, okay, yeah, I'm actually going through depression. The sad thing is that many people are around me, and not until 2006 to 2022. That is about how many years now?
That's
about 16 years.
16 years,
16
yes.
good years. 16 good years. Nobody discovered. Nobody knew.
Nobody knew in 16 years, nobody knew that you were going through depression, even though you knew some 14 years ago.
Yes, nobody. Exactly, nobody knew. Oh, let's say somebody knew 2 years ago. Somebody knew in 2020. Apparently, I react to issues the way I shouldn't. And there is this social worker in my church who happens to be my HOD in my church. I am the assistant, so we get to talk a lot. We get to talk about church issues and all those things. She found out that I have forgetfulness. I have extreme forgetfulness, and I tend to overreact to things sometimes. Like according to her, I can just be moody. I can just be happy in a crowd, and all of a sudden I withdraw to myself in a crowd. And she started talking to me 2 good years that I should come to UCH. She works at UCH. Come to UCH. Come and see Dr. SYZ and all those things. But I felt reluctant. To go there. You know, the stigma, the name we have given to the psychiatric hospital, and that actually have a bearing on my thinking, which made me not to answer her for 2 very good years.
Okay, just so the audience, anyone watching, can actually understand and learn from your journey. In those 16 years,
yes, ma'am.
You did not speak to anybody that I am depressed. Like, you did not open up to anyone.
No one. It is. I generally accepted that. There's this feeling that comes with it that there's no solution to it. I deluded myself into believing there's no solution to it. That probably that is how God created me.
Wow.
And people are just selfish, and well, it's just a matter of time. I speak to my father-in-law a lot about not about it, just in parables that this world is just a matter of time. The world I'll be here. I may be here for long. I may not be here for long. You know, he cautions me over it a couple of times, but I always feel that okay, there's no how I can continue with this. Something has to give one day. That God will just one way or the other take me away from here. So I really did not open up to anybody.
Wow. So I mean, what you just described now is, I mean, a pattern of thoughts that come in when that thing comes, a pattern of not being loved, a pattern of not being loved, a pattern of being used by people. That's the thought that comes to you. A pattern of death anytime, a pattern of being tired of life and thinking that something could happen any moment and then you're no more. You feel unvalued by people around you, and it's just those thoughts pumping in your. But while you will talk to people, it's only the discerning that probably would know that something is wrong somewhere. All right, that's to capture what. Okay, now let me also ask you a question. Would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert in life generally? Are you the quiet type or you are the?
I am in between the two.
Okay.
I switch.
Okay.
However, the occasion warrants. When I am in a crowd, I am most likely going to be the most vocal in there. The loudest among all. I'm probably, if not the funniest, one of the funniest among all. But the moment I have the feeling that anybody in that crowd is in that crowd. Anybody is in that crowd for selfish motive. I have deleted myself into an angle to believe that the world can be perfect. And when there's a little imperfection that springs up, I just feel like I do not want to be here. This is not the idea of what the place I want to be. This is not what I want to be. And that that person, I could all of a sudden be happy, and that person's little behavior could just trigger it.
Wow.
And I could spend the next 3 days and be on it that I just don't like this person. I just don't like being every one of you are just the same thing, just pretending and all those things.
Whereas the person might not even know that whatever they did had any impact on you at all.
Exactly.
You know the reason why I asked you the kind of temperament or the kind of, I don't know how psychology classifies it, whether an introvert, an extrovert, or an ambivert. Ambivert are the ones in between. They could fare well as introverts, they could fare well as extroverts. The reason why I asked is so we understand whether it's only the quiet types that gets affected by depression or the outgoing type. But from what you've described, it can go both ways. Even the funniest set of people, the most lively persons around us, the most joyous, always, those people that you think, they don't have any care in this world, they get affected too. And in fact, someone said it. I read it. I've seen some materials that allude to the fact that those ones who actually make you laugh are the ones you should watch out for, because they have a way of masking their pain in such a way that people around won't know. And what you said now just actually confirms that to us. Okay. So you've mentioned some things that actually predisposes you to such feelings. When something happens, something that you should normally take as, okay, maybe it's just a sleep, you take it personal. And you even use it to rate or to score the world as, this world is so imperfect and all that. All right, in the 14, okay, no, not 14, in those 16 years, guide us you've been able to describe one scenario, guide us into other scenarios that happen when you are in that frame of mind. You've mentioned forgetfulness. What other things should we watch out for? I mean, whatever symptoms that you're going to describe to us, it won't be exhaustive, but at least give us an idea of the things you think about, the things you do in that time, the things that happen in your world, when you are depressed and all that.
Okay, this is going to get very deep, and I'm going this deep because I have been in it. It feels very sad. It's very, 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 very sad. It's a situation I do not want anybody to get in.
Wow.
And I'm not here to judge anybody, but if saying what I'm about to say is going to help someone out there, then my mission is accomplished. The number one trigger for my depression what led to depression is that my childhood was taken away from me. I think that at the age of 10, I left home for the very first time to work. That was the first time I left home to bring money home when our second to the last born was born. And after that, I went to Benin Republic. I was with my grandpa in Benin Republic. And
what kind of work? May I ask, please, what kind of work did you do at 10 years?
Well, I work at people's farm. I used to work at people's farm. My mom was the one catering for us, and then she just delivered a baby. She was working at Adeusi farm. She just delivered a baby and she could not walk.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, or maybe she lost her job or something.
Okay.
I think it was because she just delivered our second to the last born in 1995, and she could not walk.
Okay.
And I have to somehow go out to bring money. I remember correctly, it was 20 naira per day I was bringing in with a friend of mine who was quite older than me. He should be like maybe about 8-7 years older than me.
Okay.
So I go there to assist in the farm, and they pay me 20 naira per day. I bring that home, and then in 1998, my grandpa, who I was living with in Benin Republic, I left Nigeria in 1996 to Benin Republic, and my grandpa was sick in 1997. He was sick in 1997, and I had to fend for myself. I had to fend for myself all by myself, go to the farm, fetch firewood. It's almost like walking from if you know Egbeda in Lagos, walking from Egbeda to Surulere. Yes.
Wow.
Every day.
That would be over an hour drive.
Yes. You walk it every day.
I mean, that is it. Yes, it should be over an hour drive.
Yes.
And you walk there.
With firewood on the head.
Okay. Please go on. If you need to take a break, I would wait.
Sorry.
You can take some moment.
So I was doing that when my grandpa was sick, and there was nobody. I actually disliked my dad because one, he abandoned us at a stage. He abandoned us at a stage, polygamy nonsense and all those. And he wanted to bring me back to Nigeria. I refused. So not knowing that my grandpa was going to fall sick and was going to be in the hospital for close to a year. So that period, I was fending for myself. And my uncles, there's one of them who actually had money then. And they all looked away. They see me every morning. I had to drop out of school to fend for myself. I set trap to catch rats, all this, Emon and co, to sell them. So all those things actually took away childhood from me. I started acting adult from
at a very
when
young
I was
age.
young. So when I find anybody who behaves strange, for instance, in my church, I am the youth leader in the church, and virtually everybody won't know my ATM pin. I remember years ago, I did something that shocked everybody. A friend of mine, I worked for somebody in South Africa. He was going to send me a significant amount of money. I'm not going to quote the amount of money here. He was going to send me a significant amount of money, and my friend overheard my conversation with him because he had my ATM pin. He went to the bank, not knowing that the guy didn't send the money that particular day. He waited a week before he sent the money. And my friend took my ATM pin, went to the ATM, got to my account, found out there was no money. There was just 1.5 then, and he withdrew 500 naira.
Wow.
500 naira. He withdrew 500 naira. I went to the bank. I said, "Who used my ATM?" And the bank showed me the CCTV footage. I felt betrayed. I was very, very sad. I went back to the bank about 5 days later, and I told the bank, "Get him arrested." You know, I do not see myself as a callous person. If you know me one-on-one, I am the most generous person. Apart from my wife, and probably my laptop, there's nothing in this world that I own that I cannot give out. I can give out everything. I am one of the most generous person you will ever find. I am one of the most considerate person you ever find. But the moment you betray my trust in me, the only thing in my mind is that, oh, people in the world are not trustworthy. People in the world are not they are not worth the stress and all those things. And I believe firmly in the arms of the law. If you mess with me, if the law cannot take its course, if the law takes its course, I'm fine, I'm cool. I can even pity you and say, okay, let's pray him. But the moment I'm not able to deal with that person, I'm not able to tell the person that, okay, this is how to behave, this is how not to behave. It affects my mood. It doesn't affect my mood in a way. It affects my mood that I don't want to be part of this world. This is not the world I want to be part of. Like I live in a bubble, in a sort of a bubble whereby I believe that everybody must behave the same way I behave. I was brought up in a way to believe that you don't lie, you don't steal, and if you do that, it is just not right. You know, considering what you know about me, a lot of things you know about me, it's a bit contradictory if you ask yourself. But that is a sort of a bubble, a sort of a world that I have built for myself.
Whereas,
and I live in there, whereby I can give you my ATM pin, I can give you access to my bank account. I believe it is not yours. You shouldn't go there because you know my pin does not mean you should go to my bank account and steal from it and all those things. So I sort of have built a closure for myself in a particular corner. And if anybody who is not of the same behavior comes into that corner, it triggers me.
Wow. Okay, so when that mood comes, or when it comes, I recall you said that for the next 3 days at times you so what happens in those 3 days? Is it that you don't talk to people? Is it that, what are the things you think of? What are the things you do?
I may be talking to people and even laughing with people, but the moment people are left and I'm all alone, I get in that mood. And the only thing I think of, I have had many times whereby I considered suicide. I never tried it. I considered it. It is a beclouding feeling that clouds your mind in such a way. The only thing you think of is that you leave this particular cruel world and go to a world that is
perfect.
ideal. So that is far better than this particular world and all those things. So it's a feeling that overpowers you. Sometimes you have to cry to relieve yourself. You cry sometimes, you relieve yourself. Sometimes I sleep off, and I found out that after sleeping I am relieved and I'm fine. Or sometimes you could linger on and on.
Do you think, I know you're married, sorry that I'll have to drag Madam into this. Have you ever considered opening up to her? Because I mean, for you to say that in 16 years, it was just 2 years ago that someone detected, and it was even this year that you actually sought medical support and assistance. Tell me, is it that she never knew, or you never? I mean, she didn't. How was she able to? Did she know, or has she? Obviously, I don't know, but how? Have you ever thought of opening up to her when you are in that mood, or what? Or she just assumes that, okay, maybe you just have a family?
The thing is that when the mood starts, anything could trigger it. Anything. It could. You have never asked me for money before, and you could ask me for money, and I naturally want to help, and maybe I was expecting some cash, and I promise I'm going to send it to you, and it doesn't come. And I have to disappoint you, and I feel disappointed in myself that I am disappointing you. And I beat myself about it, and somebody now comes, maybe another person who knows both of us comes and asks me what is going on, and I do not speak. The person asks it again, and I do not speak. The moment the person keeps streaming, asking and asking again, I see that the person is selfish. That the person is selfish. That if I don't want to talk, why not free me? Let me be. Let me just stay on my own. If I want to talk to you, I'll talk to you. Do not pester me. So when that happens, it makes me see that person as somebody who is not loving, and I have, you know, some of these stories. I have a myriad of issues in my marriage, and it made me see her like, okay, she doesn't care enough. Why should I open up to her? She doesn't care. And there was an incident that happened that made me actually really make up my mind. There was an incident in, I think 2 years ago or thereabout, where I was in church, and I and the pastor are very close. We are very, very close. He's a friend of mine, and I definitely have not discussed about him about this depression. He just called, and he just made another call that you left home this morning, you were feeling suicidal, you feel like you want to end it, just move out immediately. I am the assistant head usher in church, and ushers are not to close their eyes, ushers are to open their eyes just in case of anything. And I was the first person who stepped out.
Wow.
And this is what I talked about. This is what I talked about, delusion. I stepped out, and other people stepped out, but in my mind I was like, I'm being Uncle Jadi for Jadi's sake. So I just came out. I came out, and my wife was there. There's a woman in the church who I am friends with. Who is like a mother to me, and my pastor's wife, who is like my big auntie. I came out, I was prayed for, I went back in, I waited a few days for my wife to, what was that about, what is going on? They made another call that people who are suicidal to come out. You came out. I expected my pastor's wife to come to me. I expected people in the church
to find out,
to come to me.
Yes.
Yeah, what is going on with you? But nobody came.
Wow.
And I made up my mind that there's no point discussing with anybody. But you know what? You wonder what happened when I actually submit myself. I didn't submit myself into for treatment. I was tricked into going to the hospital. The belief was that I was going to have a word with the doctor at the hospital, just have a conversation man to man. And I said I needed a friend, somebody who I can talk to, who we understand, and I prefer it to be a psychiatrist. And I went to the hospital, and we got talking and all those things. And I said what I just said now, that there was another call that was made in church. My wife was, I asked my wife and the other woman to excuse us, only myself and my HOD. And my HOD was telling me, do you not remember that if they make such another call, pastor will say that everybody should close their eyes?
Wow.
That it is only me and her who are ushers in church who are not permitted to close our eyes.
That could see who and who came out.
Exactly, but somehow my mind did not tell me. Wow. My mind did not tell me that there was a chance that my wife actually closed her eyes.
And she didn't see you.
There was a chance that my pastor's wife closed her eyes. Exactly, and that she does not know.
Wow.
So I heard it like, okay, she doesn't care, she doesn't care. So why should I discuss it with her and all those things? Until I went to the hospital, and the consultant, I'm not going to mention his name, probed very deep. As in he interviewed me like he was like a policeman was interviewing a criminal. So it was then I realized that probably this woman didn't know all along.
Wow.
But by then I already opened up by myself. I didn't open up fully to her. I didn't let her know the graffiti. I was just using it as status on my DP. And one day my HOD already approached her and said, your husband needs to see a psychiatric doctor. And exactly. And by then she already knew that I needed help, but she didn't know. I'm sure till today she doesn't know the gravity of it.
Okay.
I'm sure till today, and probably she will never find out.
Okay. Let's now go to seeking help now. The word the word psychiatry. When we hear it, we attach some kind of ominous feeling to it. It's a no-go area. In fact, people even joke with it. Say, oh, Yaba left and all that. And that alone would
Yes,
not
ma'am.
make anyone want to submit. Tell me, at the moment this that your HOD said, okay, a psychiatric hospital. Who even brought it up? The word psychiatry. Did you bring it up? Did she bring it up? And how did you feel talking about it, and having to step into a psychiatric hospital? How did you feel?
Okay. One thing that kept me alive, that made me not do anything silly, is the determination that my daughters, I have 3 beautiful girls, will not behave in certain way. I will bring them up in a way that whenever I see, I will be proud of. That was a determination. I wake up in the morning, every morning, I tell myself that these children, I need to nurture them till, like Yoruba will say,
Till they are old enough
like
to stand on their feet.
exactly, to be on their feet. That was one thing that kept me going. I wanted my children, I want my children to have what I did not have. And to the glory of the good Lord, I and my children are extremely very close. The 3 of them, not even one of them, 3 of them. Very, very close. So that was a driving force for me. Like, you are going to, no matter what the horde is, you are going to stay alive for these children. But I then got to the point whereby those children, I had issues with their mother, and those children did not matter anymore.
Wow.